Everybody. My name is Jill Nagy Reynolds, and I'm with the SBA Columbus District Office. I want to welcome everyone to the first in a series of webinar trainings that we are offering to help prepare for the Ohio Business Matchmaker. So you may be familiar with the Ohio Business Matchmaker. The last 2 years it has been virtual, but we are bringing it back to in-person. We're super excited about that. It'll be on July 13th and 14th. So that will be here before we know it. So what we have done the past few years is help to prepare businesses for the matchmaker. And the matchmaker is actually a collaborative effort between the SBA and the Ohio Department of Development. And within the Ohio Department of Development, we work with the Minority Business Assistance Centers, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and the Small Business Development Center. So what does that mean to all of you? It means that we are coming together as your government resources to assist in helping to explain government procurement, because I think it's more of a journey without a destination is what it can feel like sometimes. So we are your resources to help you better understand government procurement, both from a state and a federal perspective. So today, as we go through the training, the first half of this training will be presented by Tim Collins, who is with the state of Ohio, and will be followed by Jane Stewart, who is with the Ohio University PTAC in Cleveland. So you will learn today about state procurement and federal procurement. Why that is important is because hopefully as a business, you're trying to find business both at state and federal, but in addition, the Ohio Business Matchmaker will have representatives from both state and federal agencies. So if you leave this training with more questions than answers, I will say that, again, this is a journey and this might be just your introduction to getting those questions answered, but not to lose sight of what you're trying to accomplish, because it can take a very long time to learn government procurement, and that's why these resources are in place to help you. So without further ado, Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you could please introduce yourself. I did not write down your job title as I should have. So if you could start by introducing yourself and what you do within your capacity. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Thank everybody for participating in this matchmaker event. My name is Tim Collins, and I will be presenting for certifications from the state side. I want to thank Jill and everybody that is in the room that made this happen. State certification is a lengthy process. Like Jill said, it's a journey. It's truly a journey through certification. Everybody has their own guidelines in which they have to go by to be certified. At the state side, you know, we still have a lot of guidelines, a lot of red tape that we have to go through. But today, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to introduce you to what it takes to get certified in our 4 programs that we have. All right. Okay, so getting started here. At the state, we have 4 programs. And can y'all see everything? Y'all see the show?
Yes. Yep,
okay.
I can see it.
At the state, we have 4 programs, okay? We have the Encouraging Diversity, Growth, and Equity EDGE program. We have the Women's Business Enterprise program, WBE, the Minority Business Enterprise program, the MBE, and the Veterans Friendly Business Enterprise program. Okay, today we're going to talk about all the programs that we have. All right, the differences, what you have to be eligible for each one of them. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, just put some in the chat or just raise your hand, and Jill or Sharon will get to it. And we'll go from there. It's about an hour presentation. So if you got to leave and come back, just leave and come back when you get a chance. But I'm going to break this down for you, okay? All right. I want to say thank y'all for attending, and let's get started. So as of 6/30/2021, almost a year ago, it's been 11 months. It's been a transaction. We used to be housed in the Department of Administrative Services. I think everybody knew that. We used to be the Equal Opportunity Division. That's where you would send your stuff to, and we was located on 4200 Surface Road. As of 7/1/2021, everything changed. Life is turned upside down. They moved us into the Vernon Rife. We're with the Department of Development now, and we are known as the Minority Business Development Division, MBDD. Say that 12 times and see if you get choked up. All right, and you send stuff to developmentohio.gov, business, minority businesses. That's where you send all your documents to. And we're located on 77 South High Street, the 28th floor. So all those changes, it took a lot for all that to happen. You say changing within a division or within an agency is one thing, but moving from one agency to another agency, it's been a year of transition, to say the least. Okay, now at the Department of Development, what we have is we have a community services division. We have a minority business development division and a business services division. All of them try to help the community, try to help small businesses, try to help people in the community. We are a direct link from the governor right now in the position that we hold. When our constituents want change, they go to the governor, and then that's like a telephone call away from my director. What was that change and why did you change? And that we know it immediately when we do something that somebody does not like now. So we got a community service division. The community service division, all this other stuff that goes on in the community. We got a First Frontier division over in the business section, and we have our section. Our section is the Minority Business Development Division. What we do, we house the loan program, the WBE loan program, the microloan program, and a direct loan program. All three programs is out there. They got the qualifications on our development website, but just a quick informational session on this. The microloan is up to 45,000, from 10 to 45,000. And all you got to do is be in business for 1 year. The women's business loan is 45 to 1.5 million. Okay. And then, no, it's to 500,000, my fault. And then the direct loan is from 45 to 1.5 million. Okay. So we have the loan programs now. And if anybody want a loan, I can give you the information on that for our programs. And we also do certification. Okay. Our certification, like I say, is our 4 programs. The EDGE program, the Minority Business program, the Veterans program, and the Women's program. We're going to start off today with the EDGE program. Okay, the EDGE program came out of a ruling by a judge, Supreme Court judge, saying that back in '98 that you cannot set aside a portion of money, okay, to a group of people just because of the race, the color of their skin. So what they did was, on the construction side, they said this is unlawful. So they took it away and they came up with the EDGE program. Okay. The EDGE program is designed to facilitate access to state government contracts, business and services, and you have to be certified as an EDGE company, okay, to get that. Okay. It provides contracting assistance, program assist socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. Okay, so now what they said was, well, you just can't just hold the money for a group of people just because of race. It has to be other things in there. And we're going to talk about them other things right now. It has to be other things that's out there, okay? They have to have other underlying things, just not a group of people that based on race, okay? Went the wrong way. Okay, so in 2002, December 2nd, they came out with a Ohio Revised Code 123152. On July 1st, it was established. the EDGE program. It establishes goals, a 5% goal for each agency. So if they spend $1 billion, 5% of what they spend has to go towards an EDGE certified company, okay? And this is good for goods and services. It's good for professional services. So goods and services is like if we're selling computers or let's not go computers. How about janitorial? Let's go pencils. Let's go any goods and services that we let out. Okay, professional services. Okay, this is has a lot to do with Department of Education and health, whereas they do a lot of surveys and they need professional and analysis of what they're doing. Informational technology. Now, this is where the laptops come in. If you're selling laptops or any type of IT need, okay? And then construction, we do most of the construction through the OFCC website, but that's billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars in architecture and engineering services, okay? So there are the 5 areas of concentration that we look at when we stand at 5% go out for the agencies. What's the benefits of certification? Anybody got it? Anybody know what's the benefits? Okay, I'll tell you, okay? All right, contract assistance. We will help you like I do. I help people obtain the contracts. If they're certified MBE or certified EDGE or VBE or WBE, I will help them with that contract. I will help you contact the procurement officer with the agency, walk you through the process. That's what I do. We got financial and bonding assistance. So the other thing that I do is I help you with the loans and getting bonded. We have a bonding program as well. Okay, all you gotta do is give me a call. I'll help you. I'll show you where to go, what the qualification is, what the criteria is for getting that into that program. And management and technical assistance. And these take mostly, it take place mostly at the MBAC and the PTAC levels. PTAC is for the small business and the federal stuff, and the MBAC is for the state. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, and their programs are similar, but they're not the same. Their functions are a little different. Okay. Okay, so eligibility for the EDGE program. Okay, race. We talked about race, ethnic origin, gender. Okay, we talk about being physically or mentally disabled. Okay, physically, that means, you know, you got a bum leg, your leg may be amputated, or your ankle, or a limb may be off, you know, or mental. You may be suffering from some type of depression or anything like that you can't really see. Okay, so we take that into consideration. And what you have to do to prove that is to get a medical examination, and we have our form. We have a form on our webpage. Okay, long-term residency in an environment isolated from mainstream Ohio. So we're looking at Appalachia. Okay, Appalachian Ohio. I say southeast. That area that's known for Appalachian Ohio. If you are in one of those counties, that will be considered an area in which is underutilized. Okay. Located in a qualified census tract. So a hub zone, you got tracts that the federal government has laid out throughout the United States they are called hub zones. And if your business is in that hub zone, okay, and 30% of your workers live in that hub zone, okay, then you are eligible for the EDGE program based on that fact. Okay, and then, you know, you can always give us a good reason. I didn't say it's going to be accepted, but you can always give us a good reason why you think that you are being you need to be in the program because you're at a disadvantage somehow. We take that on in writing in a form, and our state coordinator will look at it and come up with a decision at that time. Okay, and getting to the hub zone again, you may qualify. You're in the hub zone. Okay, you need to meet the socially and economically disadvantaged criteria, and then we're going to talk about that socially and economically disadvantaged criteria. Any questions so far?
Yeah, one just came through, Tim. So, and also I have a question because before I get to our participants question, do you need to have those certifications to do business with the state?
No, you do not. No, you do not. Like I was saying, like the 5% for Edge. So if you want some of that 5%, then yeah, then you will get certified as Edge and try to get some of that 5%. But all our procurement opportunities are online and they're open market. Now we did set aside some of them for MBE, and we're going to talk about the MBE and how that's done. But 5% of in the areas that we just talked about has to go towards an Edge certified company. So you can do open market and you can do Edge if you wanted to.
Okay. All right.
That's up to you.
We have a participant who's asking about manufacturing and fabricating. So Hugh, I think your business must be in manufacturing, fabricating raw shapes, bars, sheets. Does the state buy things like that?
Ooh, I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to say yes, but I was trying to think. You used to fabrication. I would have to say if it was some type of fabrication work, maybe the prisons. Who would you normally sell to? You can unmute your mic. Who do you normally sell to, sir?
And Hugh, if you were able to, unmute yourself and ask and just clarify.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing, Hugh? Welcome.
All right. There's a lot of us out here that do manufacturing and or fabrication. Basically what that entails, I will take round bars of plastic, for example, and machine them to a shape that would go into a GE MRI, because you can't have metal. So like we do brackets all out of plastic that hold the wires in an MRI in place.
You said an MRI?
Yeah.
So
but
that would tell me to be
we don't provide, I'm gonna say it, we don't provide a service like cleaning.
Correct.
Or
you're in sales.
We're not a seller. We actually make the parts that fit into other parts that make an automobile or an MRI or like there's medical devices. We're working with a firm out in Pennsylvania that they have custom made little devices that we take bars of plastic, give them the shapes that they need so they can fit it in their machines.
I got you. Well, Hugh, thinking about that, we take a lot of finished products and use of finished products and put some out for finished products. I would venture to say maybe universities, if they're doing some research, would be a good place to look at. University, colleges, state of Ohio, universities and colleges, Bowling Green, Akron, Youngstown, Cleveland State, who would probably do more of the research and development side and taking it that way.
Yeah,
so they would probably have stuff out there.
We worked with one guy from Cleveland State on a prototype. But and I need a more constant
money.
Cash flow, yes.
And Hugh, those are the types of answers you'll get by participating in the matchmaker, because sometimes it's just figuring out what agencies buy what you sell, what levels of government buy what you sell. So this might be something that's more of a fit in prime contracting with the federal government. And Jane is saying there's a fit for you in the federal government. So as Tim mentioned, maybe a college or university would be more of a fit from the state side. So that's one of the reasons we host the matchmaker, is to help businesses figure those things out.
Well, we've attended those, and it's, let's say it. We've attended them. We've even done the cozy one when they were doing it. And I don't want to say it's been a waste of time, but it's been a waste of time.
You gotta,
Okay, well,
go ahead, Joe.
it takes time too.
I know that.
Yeah.
You know, one thing is you just gotta find that market and where that market is at, and it could be in colleges and universities, since they do a lot of research and production type of stuff, or where like a prison, for instance. Take one of these prisons, pre-release, Jackson's pre-release. They are run, they do their own stuff. They create their own food, they got their own cows, they are self-sufficient. It's like a little community in a prison, whereas a lot of things that they need is shoes and stuff for that prisoner, you know, to make that prisoner life better. Okay, gaming, maybe fixing up a room, or shoes or socks. I see a lot of that. So you just got to think of what industry would you be in state government. We're no different, you know, than anything else. Department of Health have a lot of health studies coming out. Okay, they have a lot of in-school things that coming out. So you just got to find where your niche is at.
I guess that's for manufacturing. I'm not the only one, so I'm probably speaking for a bunch of people.
Correct.
For manufacturing and fabrication, not in this form, but another form that we were doing a webinar in. Basically, we were told you need contacts. And it's like, okay, how do we get the contacts? Well, that's your problem.
That's what the goal is of the matchmaker, is to get contacts. And just for the sake of this training, I think we can take additional questions as we go along, but we need to get through the topic right now.
I got you. Thanks you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. So what is an economic disadvantage? When we speak of a person, okay, a business owner, okay, their personal net worth cannot exceed $750,000, excluding the equity in primary residence, you know, or the certified business. Your fair market value of all assets, including equity in your primary residence and your certified business, cannot exceed $6 million. So we have a lot of room right there to be economically disadvantaged. Okay, up to $6 million is $750 personal net worth. A business also must meet the following criteria to be considered economically disadvantaged. The adjusted gross income, I think it's lines 17 and 16, cannot be $350,000 over a 3-year period. Okay, gross income, so that's net minus your deduction. So 350 gross average over the last 3 years. And North American Industry classification system code, NAICS, that we've known it. They have limitations on amount of different jobs or different tasks. They have different limitations. Either it's going to be the amount of people you can have or the amount of money you make in that code. But if you graduate from any of those, the amount of, if it's people or if it's money you can make, then you're out of the program. Okay, so you have to stay within the federal guidelines as well. Okay, what is socially disadvantaged? And quite honestly, social disadvantage is being a part of a minority group. Okay, or some other group that the personal disadvantage does not come to other small businesses and be in a qualified census tract. So we talked about that earlier, whereas is where you live and your physical and mental capacity there. Now, also for the state of Ohio, you must be for profit to get in our programs. You cannot be a nonprofit. Okay, you must be in business for, this is all our programs stuff for the VBE. You must be in business for at least 1 calendar year before you put that application in. Okay, so we have a for-profit, 1 year before you put the application in, it must be 51% owned by somebody that's socially, economically disadvantaged. 51%. Okay, either socially or economically. Okay. And the last one is you must have day-to-day expertise of the business. And that, that is very important. That's the reason we do the interview. We have a lengthy interview of about 60 questions that we want to make sure that owner, once we are certified, is actually the one who has the expertise to run the day-to-day operations of that business. Because we don't need no pass-throughs. We don't need no people that's doing it because their spouse is running it, but now they want to try to get in the program. We're trying to eliminate that from happening. Okay. Certification process. Okay, if you are a business and you have been in business for 1 year, remember that you are the owner and you are 51% of owner, and you can go to one of your minority business assistance centers. We have about one in each big city: Toledo, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Akron, and Youngstown. And we have regional offices that offset those offices. If you go in there, we will help you. They will help you get your application together. Okay, you can either do a standard, a fast track, or ELD standard or MBA standard. The difference is, and I'm gonna go through these slides. The difference is if you just go on the internet and go to the Ohio Business Gateway and you put it in, that's just standard. If you go to MBAC, that'd be standard. They help you with it. Fast track is when you actually have a contract pending certification. You can only get expedited, and expedited is we'll do it in a couple days, a week, a shortened period of time. We'll put it at the top of the list. But you got to go to the MBAC Center and they got to assist you, and they got to get all your paperwork together. Okay. So the process, I'm not going to go over the standard process, 60 to 90 days, Ohio Business Gateway. I'm not going to go over that. We're going to skip over that. Now, in fiscal year 20, okay, we had total of 348 million, that billion of edge going out. Okay, that was a lot of money, and it's still a lot of money. And we're trying to give out more to certified businesses. That's why we need to bring on more people like you, Hugh, more people like you that has a specialty, and then we'll find something for you, hopefully, and hopefully, you can get certified and we can bring you on and you can do business with the state. But we need other fields. We need other businesses to come on besides the traditional ones that we have. Okay. Every year we go through projection plans. They say what they're going to project out as edge and what they can project out as MBE. Now, we're going to start talking about the WBE program, okay? Women's Business Enterprise Program. Okay, how is that different? Well, on October 9th, 2020, we grandmothered over 800 MBEs and edge companies that was woman-owned into the program. And they're about to come up for recertification coming up on October 9th, 2022. We opened it up. The woman-owned business must be, well, let me start over. The WBE must be owned by a female, and she must have a majority of the ownership, over 51%. Okay, she must have knowledge of the industry when we had a day-to-day control, and possess the licenses and permits by law to do the business, just like the other programs that we have. The only thing with the WBE program is, as of right now, we don't have a set aside, or we don't have a law saying that we must do X amount of dollars with a WBE owned company. We don't have that in place. I don't know if it's coming. I've heard rumors that we're going to start setting aside, but we are going to keep track of the business that we do with the WBE certified businesses, and we keeping track of that, so we'll see how much actually we are giving or spending on WBE certified companies. Okay. Now, steps for certification. You need to right now we're going to the development's website, go to the certifications, and go to the WBE program, and you apply. Starting in a couple months, we're going to all be going through the OBG, and it's all going to be tied in together. But right now, it's not tied into the Ohio Business Gateway. So you have to go onto the development's website right now and apply on the development website under the WBE program. Okay, Minority Business Enterprise Program. This is the big one that we have. One of our biggest ones we have is growing. The WBE program is growing, but the Minority Business Enterprise Program is for minority and ethnic groups only. Okay, there's a 15% set aside in procurement for goods and services for MBE businesses. Okay, the program is ethnically based, designed to assist minority businesses in obtaining state government contracts for goods and services only. We talked about this 1998. They said that, hey, giving it for construction is illegal. You just can't set aside no money like that. They got rid of the construction side, and they just kept the goods and services side. And so it's a 15% effort. It's not a law like EDGE, whereas 5% will go towards EDGE. This is not 15% will go towards MBE. What happened was when Casey came, our ex-governor John Casey came in, he had made the rule back in the 80s about the MBE program, and he enforced it when he became governor 2012, 10 years ago. So he enforced it when he came to be the governor, and made all of our agencies live up to the 15%, and we're still living up to that 15% today. Minority Business Enterprise Program.
Can you go back to the slide that has the website to send the MBE application?
There we go. So the MBE application, you need to go to the Ohio Business Gateway. The Ohio Business Gateway. Everything is the EDGE program and the MBE program is through the Ohio Business Gateway.
And you have to set up an account there too, don't you?
You have to set up an account there. Yes, you do. You have to set up an account in Ohio Business Gateway. It goes by your email address, essentially, and you have to fill out all the information on your company. They will give you a account, and then you will see Equal Opportunity Division. They haven't changed it yet, so it's still supposed to say Equal Opportunity Division. I just want to let you know. And then you want to go to Unified Application, and then if you want to go for whatever program you want to go for. Like I say, we're about to get all that changed pretty soon, but as of right now, that's the process that you have to take. You have to go there, look for the unified application, and go for the program that you want, MBE, EDGE, okay? And WB program is not on there as well. We already talked about that, where it's located, okay? Any questions before I go any further on into the WBE program? Anybody got any questions about the WBE program while we can go back a couple slides? Nope.
I don't see anything. Okay.
All right.
Tim, I do. It's Antoinette. How are you?
How you doing tonight? How you doing today?
I'm good. I got registered for the WBE certification and it was approved. And when I went to Ohio Buys, the only thing they had me listed for was the NBE and the EDGE. I sent an email to the person who sent me my original certification to find out why it wasn't there. I don't know if I didn't do something correctly but I was approved for all three, the WBE and the MBE and the EDGE.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say that you got certified in all three in WBE, MBE, and Edge. You downloaded the Edge application, you downloaded the MBE application, correct?
Yes, and I completed all of them, and it was back in February. And I went to the Ohio Buys to make sure I was putting in the right information so I could get the right information about procurement opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having some difficulty, and I had to call the service desk there, and they helped me. But when we went back to check, they said, we see you listed for Edge and we see you listed for MBE, but we don't see you listed for WBE. So I don't know how I make those two talk, or did something get missed? Or
So,
did I?
so remember like I said, the WBE and the Edge and the MBE goes through the Ohio Business Gateway. So that's tracked and that's coming out, and you get your certificate because it was already something in play. The WBE and the VBE, their programs is through an Excel spreadsheet as of right now. They couldn't add it to our operating system when we added them on. We just added them on the last couple of years. WBE is the last 2 years, and the VBE maybe 3 years. So it would have taken us too much money to put everything on the PIMS, in which that's our operating system, in which we have that going through now. So WB is to the side. So what we can do is I can print you out a certificate. What is the name of your business?
It's Law of My Yacht Consultants. I have my certificate, but it doesn't.
And yeah, I'm sorry, we have to get back on track with the presentation.
I apologize.
Can you put your email address in
Put your
the
email
chat?
address there, yes.
Or Tim, how about you put your email address in the chat, and those that have actual individual certification questions, Tim, if you're able to follow up with him after the presentation.
You know,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the time.
No, that's okay. You're good. That I just got to keep it moving.
Thank you.
I'll put it
yeah.
in there. Okay, no problem.
Okay,
So,
and we do have one other question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm eligible as an economically disadvantaged business, minority and woman-owned. Do I need to apply for all of them separately?
I would apply for all of them together collectively. You can go in there and apply for the Edge, and you said which ones are you eligible for now?
So minority and woman-owned. I believe she's asking if there's a separate application process for each one.
No, it's the same process. So what I would do is go in and apply for the Edge and the MBE. And then when you talk to your officer, tell them that you also would want to go for the WBE program. And then at that time, the person will know, okay, well, it's the same certification questions. It's the same process. It's just that the application is not on it going through OBG. Okay. So you just have to tell your officer that you want to be certified as a WBE as well. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's get back on track. So the MBE program is the same. You got to be Ohio residents, okay, for profit, okay, knowledge of the industry and business, and the day-to-day control of the business. You know, we want to make sure the person knows about the business and they're doing what they're supposed to do. They got the expertise. Okay, African Americans or Blacks, okay, American Indian, Asian, and Hispanics and Latinos. These are the 4 groups that we let into the MBE program. Okay. MBE procurement system. Now, for the MBE program, like I said, it's not like everything you got in the Edge program is 5%. 5% of everything they give out, so it's there. Well, procurement and MBE is a little different. The MBEs has to have a code, so when they do set aside under that code, your code has to match up with what they're letting out. For instance, they're letting out bicycles. They want to purchase 100 bicycles for the Department of Youth Services. The code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they want to make it an MBE set aside. If you can only bid on that if you are a client and you are MBE and one of your UNSPSC codes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on your sheet, you cannot, even though you sell bicycles, but you put it in wrong, you cannot go after that bid, because you need to make sure that your codes are correct on your certification. And what we had going on this year was we had to change, make sure everybody codes was up to date. We called a lot of companies. I think every officer had like 120, 130 contracts that they have to call to update their UNSPSC codes. Now, I know ain't everybody respond. Emails was wrong. That's why it's important to keep your information up to date. We would call people, the line would be disconnected. It was a lot of things, but we tried to update everybody's codes. And what happened was, say for instance, if you had that contract over for paper over at say Department of Health, you had the paper contract, and that was code 5555555. Okay, and now you didn't update your codes because they changed. And now you got the contract, and when it expired, you can't even bid on that contract because you did not update your codes. So I had a lot of people calling me around March, April, saying that they need to update their codes. So we got that done, but you have to have the correct code. And let's go over how it's broken down, okay? So UNSC code breakdown: goods, face, hair protection, safety, footwear, cameras, network application software, saws, industry, beverage processing, machinery, and medical supplies. Services, okay, janitorial, staffing, that's a service. Flooring, that's a service. You can actually sell flooring tiles, but flooring is a service. You do floors. So you got to know it's either sales or it's a service. Okay, so you got to know which one your business actually do. And it can do 2 or 3 things. So a person that does janitorial, for instance, they can go in there and they can clean up a building. That'll be a service. Or they can sell the products in which they clean in the business with. That'll be another code on the goods. So you need to make sure you get all the codes as an MBE that you can do, okay? Because if you don't, when that job comes out, you will not be able to bid. Here's an example of a 6-digit family code that we give. So say for instance, I can sell you welders helmets, okay? That's 46181711. We will give you credit for the family code of 46181700. Our procurement department only goes out 6 digits. So that'll be 461817. Okay, and then everything else that's falling under there, 01 or 2 or 3 up to 11 would come under that code. So if anything was to come out under that code, you will be covered. So you need to make sure again that you have all the codes that you can do. And this is 6-digit services. So I do vehicle rentals, okay, or at least vehicles or sedans, okay. That would be 809. But we'll give you the family code of 78111-800, passenger road transportation. So if something comes out, it's going to come out 7811118. And anytime something comes out in there, they will give you make sure you're up to date, and they will give you an email post. Okay.
We did get a question if drug testing is considered a service.
Yes, that's a service. That would be a service, because you're actually servicing the people. You ain't selling them the drug testing. Well, I have to look that up, but I would say that's a service. Okay.
And so then the second step would be, does the state contract that out, or do they have employees that do that internally? So a lot of these questions, you can meet with a PTAC counselor to help explore where your fit is.
Yes, or you can email me, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna put it in the chat, but you can email me.
I went ahead and did that, Tim.
Okay, all right. Drug testing, if whatever your specialty is, I'll take the whole day and look it up with you and see what we got in the system. You go if you were curious, you can go to Ohio Buys and then look under public contracts. Ohio Buys, look under public contracts, and you put whatever you do in that box, that search engine box, and everything that come up. Okay, but you got to put different words in there. You got to be creative. Okay, you got to mess around with different word plays. You know, you got to put the words in there because everything is not the same. X ain't an X and O ain't an O. You can put janitorial in there and may not come up with something, but janitorial supplies, it may have a lot of things in there. So you just got to mess around, put different words in there, and you will get what's in the system. Okay. Okay, now what we did was for certification, we got 11 minutes. For certification, we have reduced the amount of documents. I know you'll be happy. We have reduced the amount of documents that we need for you to prove that you are a legitimate business. Let's go over. We asked for these things right here: bulleted, citizenship, okay, residency, member of a disadvantaged group, articles of organization. We need taxes, personal taxes for 3 years, business taxes for 3 years, bank signature card, copies of signed contracts. Now remember, when we ask you for the signed contracts, we need to see some of them that's over a year because you have to be in business for over a year to get certified. So we're looking for contracts that's within that business, within that year, and outside of that year to prove that you have been in business for a year. Keep in mind, the way we get UNSPSC codes out is by them contracts, purchase orders. Okay, we'll talk about that later on, and distributorship agreements. Okay. Okay. This is the checklist again. If you have any lockbox leases, any management agreements, require licenses. We don't ask for bank statements anymore, but we can ask for bank statements if we feel we need them. Okay, resumes, latest profit loss, cash flow statement. If you use subcontractors, we need equipment lease and facility lease. If you are working out of your home, that'll be your mortgage payment or your mortgage papers. If you have a facility that you're renting, a brick and mortar or whatever you're renting, we will need that rent receipt or contract. Okay, now additional items, WBE, MBE, VBE doesn't need any additional documents in there. But if you're going for the EDGE program, because we have limitations on your personal net worth, your business worth, we would need your personal net worth statement, a disability verification form, and a company value worksheet. In that company value worksheet, we're going to ask for that NAICS code to see how many people that you actually are you over the NAICS limitations. And we're going to ask for cash flow and cash flow futures. Okay. And now that you're certified, I got you through the process. You're done. You got your emblem. You're certified. You got the stamp of approval from the state of Ohio. What's next? What's next? I don't know. Huh? What's next? What happens now? Well, you got to sell your company to the state procurement people. You got to know where to find the bids at. You got to know what skills your company can perform. Can I partner with somebody else? Is that legal or that illegal? These are some of the things that once you get certified, you need to take into consideration. What does my company do? What is our strength? Who do we sell to? You got to figure that all out. And as the owner of the company, that's what you need to be doing. Okay, make sure you practice your elevator speech. You know, you only have 20 seconds with a company, with somebody that got a procurement opportunity. How do I sell myself? Come up with a capability statement. Say what you're going to say, put it on paper. Know where the bids are on the federal level, the state level, and the local level, your local municipalities. Where are the loans to help me out so I can maintain my business? Know where they at. The EDCIs, okay? The SBAs, know where the money's at. Do you need to partner with somebody to gain experience? Do you need a mentor? These are some of the things that after you're certified or before you're certified, you should probably be thinking about it. But especially after you're certified, you should be thinking about these things. So we spend over $6 billion on computers, vehicles, clothing, food, pharmaceuticals, and professional services a year. You need to figure out where you fit in. Exactly, where do you fit in? What, like he was looking, where do my business fit in? Where can I get some of that money in? And go after it, okay? Most common procurement opportunity sites, DAS procurement with Ohio Buys, Ohio Facilities Construction Commission, the Ohio Department of Transportation, and the Systems Award Management, SAM. Them are the most used sites in the state of Ohio, or for procurement opportunities. And SAM is of course a federal. Okay, know where these sites are at. Okay, that's why you go to your MBAC or your PTAC office. Okay, all right, know where they at. No, become friends with them because they got all the information that you need. We are in the process of changing Ohio Buys. Okay, this has changed since this has come out May 1st. You go to Ohio Buys, it looks like this. Remember I told you go to public contracts, go to ohiobuys.gov. Okay, go to public contracts right there. All the contracts that we have are in the system right there. You go to the search engine and put whatever you want to put in there. In this case, I put janitorial in there. Janitorial came with all the janitorial contracts that we got that's active. Okay, if you look over to the right, you'll see when their original end date or the current end date is. I would go to the end date. Okay, I would go to the pencil on the left rather, click that, find out more about the project, talk to the procurement officer, talk to the people that's giving out the contract, talk to them about, what is it like to have this contract? Find the most of the information out. You can do a public information request on who got the job. You can find out what they bidded on the job, but it's all there for your taking, okay? Lastly, our VBE program, this is gonna take 2 seconds, okay? 2 seconds. Our VBE program, Veterans Friendly Business Enterprise Program, is for veterans. It's a national. It's not anything that's Ohio. This is the only program we got that's national. We're working on the WBE program becoming having reciprocal agreements with other states. But as of right now, we just got the VBE, which is national. Okay, what is it in it for me as a business owner? Well, invitation to bid. Okay, bids are selected. You can go over there. You get more points. 10 points more or 10% more, depends on which is it RFQ or RFP. Okay, you got contract assistance. We'll help you, PTAC help you, MBAC can help you with contract assistance, getting information on that contract. Okay, non-government, it can be used in non-government environment as well. Okay, now for eligibility, at least 51% of the business have to be owned by a veteran or person on active duty. Business is certified by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs or service disabled veterans. At least 10% of the business employees are veteran or on active duty, or at least 51% of the board of directors are veterans or persons on active duty. Okay, only one of the four have to be met for you to get in the VBE program. So if any veterans out there, that's the information for eligibility. You only need to meet one of the four. Required documents to prove that you are in is the DD forms 214 or 215. Okay, uniform identification card, DD form 2. Okay, Department of Veterans Affairs identification card, and then all this other stuff that's below it. Okay, application supporting document, EOD reviews the application, supporting documents, validation application information. Okay, notify the client to determine the next steps in a nutshell. I want to thank you for letting me present our 4 programs with the state of Ohio to you today.
You got
Anybody got any questions?
you got through those last slides. And Antoinette is asking, Antoinette, if you can take Tim's email address and email him.
Yes.
I think, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I just know after presentations, there tends to be a lot of questions that come through.
Yeah. Yes.
So Tim, if you can email him your question, that might be, but that's the way I prefer anyway.
That's
So,
fine. Timothy.Collins. I think Jill put it in there, but I'm gonna say it verbally. Timothy.Collins@development.ohio.gov. I want to thank Jill, Sharon, Shonda. I don't know what Shonda's at, but I want to thank her too for doing everything that y'all do. It's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that y'all never would think about. But I want to thank the client as well for attending this and taking
Absolutely.
an hour or 2 out of their day, because I know how small businesses are. You have a lot of hats to wear, and just to be able to attend this, you have to give up something else. So I want to thank everybody today for inviting me to be here to be your guest speaker, and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact me.
well, there's another, thank you. Yep, there's one more question.
Okay.
Once certified, is there an approach or method that you would recommend to identify and target the appropriate buyers, agencies prior to the Ohio Matchmaker event? I think that goes to what you were just discussing on the prior slides in terms of yeah, going to Ohio Buys and seeing where the opportunities are, and marketing yourself, creating the capability statement. And I know with the federal government, if it's like an active solicitation, or if it's in the sources sought, you can actually contact the buyer. How does that work in state procurement?
You can contact the procurement person, whatever agency is giving out. If it's DAS, you can contact them. We do it 2 ways. We have an inquiry period in which you can ask questions directly to the buyer. I mean, to the person that's procuring it. After that inquiry period is over, they'll put all the questions in the box for the inquiry for people to see. After that, you got a deadline you got to make. So before the inquiry period is over, you can ask all the questions and they give you all the answers. You know, you just have to do your homework. Do your homework, and make sure you prepare for when that time comes. A lot of people I talked to, this guy won a loan, and he didn't have his profit loss statement. His cash flow was really bad, and we can't give out no money if you don't have your.
There you go.
All right. Well, hey, just have your stuff in order, and when you do get certified, you do want, be ready. Be ready. You know, when opportunity comes, when opportunity knocks, you need to be ready for the opportunity. All right. Thank you very much. I'm gonna yield my time. I was a minute over, so
No, you did great. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. And then without further ado, the second part of our webinar training today is doing business with the federal government. And Jane, if you could turn your camera on, and Tim, if you could turn your camera off. Okay. And I see Jane. And I will do a short introduction. Jane Stewart is with the Ohio University PTAC, I believe. And I'm terrible with titles, I always have been, but you are the director of up in Cleveland for the OU PTAC, and you're very, very knowledgeable in terms of everything government. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Jane.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen and we'll get this party started.
All right.
Okay, can you see my presentation?
No, I see a PT assist screen. Not that.
All right, let me try this again.
Sure.
Okay. How about now?
It's still loading. Yes, PTAC, government contracting assistance for your business. All right. Yep. And it's not on full screen.
Okay, we good?
Can you put it on? There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jill. I'm the Associate Director for Northeast
Thank you.
Ohio. Okay?
Yes.
Close enough. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to everybody about federal contracting. So why would anyone even want to consider federal contracting? Well, it's a huge market. In fiscal year 2020, the federal government purchased over $600 billion worth of goods and services. That is huge. They're a good on-time payer. When you submit an invoice for your payment, as long as the invoice is correct, they will pay within 30 days, or you'll get interest. Now, not enough interest to go to Tahiti, but still, every little bit counts. The federal government can be a great repeat customer. Once you establish your company as a good contractor, you perform well, you perform on time, the government will come back to you. And some company somewhere is getting this work. So why not you? Why not bring those federal contracting dollars right here to Ohio and your own top line? So in fiscal 2019, the PTAC, the Ohio PTAC organization, we assisted our clients in over $1 billion in prime and subcontracts. That is huge. Our program works. Come to us and we'll do what we can to help your company. Okay, just like Tim was talking about the state of Ohio and their goals and different programs, the federal government also has various socioeconomic business programs. 23% of all federal contracts are set aside for small business. That's $136 billion. And then within that, there is a goal of 5% to award to women-owned small business, 5% for 8A certified companies, 3% for Hub Zone, and 3% for service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. And then the Veterans Administration have their own goals of a 12% goal for veteran-owned companies and 10% for service-disabled veteran-owned companies. So if you would like more information about any of these programs, I encourage you to reach out either to the SBA. The SBA is the organization who administers all of these programs. And you can also reach out to your local PTAC. We are very familiar with all of these different programs, and we can help you with the application process. Okay, so how do you make the decision to get into federal contracting? Well, first of all, does the government buy your product or service? They buy practically everything, but not everything. So it's important to identify that your product or service is needed. What is your core competency? What do you do the absolute best, better than anybody else? Is your commercial market strong? Past performance is very, very important in the government marketplace. Oftentimes, especially for service contracts, meaning the contracting officer, wants to know that you have performed similar work in size and scope previously, and that you performed it successfully. So, and do you have adequate financial resources? Yes, the government pays on time. Getting $1 million contract would be amazing. But you have to have the funds available to support that contract until payment is made. And I think even more important, are you willing to make the investment of time and effort? This does not happen overnight. There are many steps and hoops that are involved in becoming a successful government contractor. So you have to make the commitment. Okay, so first place you want to start is research. You need to know who purchases your product or service, how often, when, meaning what time of year, how much do they buy, who are they currently making the purchase from, what companies are getting the contracts now, what price are they paying, can you be competitive, and how does the agency do their buying. This is also the kind of research that you want to be doing before you go to the matchmaker. You want to get the list of participating organizations, go to their websites, do this market research and see who is a good fit for your company. But if you're just getting started in the government marketplace, you need to identify the NAICS codes that fit your company, North American Industrial Classification Codes. These are a 6-digit code that identify the type of business you are. Government contracts are categorized by that NAICS code, so it's important that you identify all of the codes that fit your company. Now, one thing I would caution is nobody can do all of everything and do it well. So make sure that all the NAICS codes that you identify are truly what you can do well. I think having too many NAICS codes that are too all over the place can be a real red flag for many contracting officers. So some other things that you need to be aware of, the system for award management. Not only is that the website that you go to register in SAM and get your cage code, but it's also where opportunities are posted. It used to be called the Federal Business Opportunities, and now it's merged into SAM. Another resource to get market research information is also on the SAM website. It used to be the Federal Procurement Data System, and it's all been integrated into SAM, and you can do research on previously awarded contracts as well as current open opportunities. Another good website is usaspending.gov. You can find all the information listed above. Find out who your competition is. Find out what agencies are buying. It's also really important to know how the agency buys. Now, by that, I mean, do they put out regular open solicitations that anybody can utilize or respond to? Do they utilize the GSA schedules, the General Services multiple award schedules? Do they use another GWAC? A GWAC is a government-wide acquisition contract. Do they use a MATOC? A MATOC is a multiple award task order contract. When you look up previously awarded contracts, you can get that information. You can find out how that agency prefers to do their spending. And that will help you to decide if that's the direction you want to go in. And if it is, you can make the decision to get a GSA contract or another contracting vehicle. If the government agency that you're interested in, if they do purchase a lot from the GSA schedules, there's the Federal Award Schedule sales query. This is a website where you can go to get procurement information that is just GSA related. A GSA schedule is essentially the Amazon for the government world. You get a pre-approval of your product or service and your pricing structure, and then that allows the government to either compete only among schedule holders or go into the GSA system, locate a company, and make an order. Another good source for market research is the DLA BSM Internet Bid Board System. DLA is the primary buying activity for the military. So if you are a manufacturer, if you can make anything, if I give you a blueprint, the DLA bid board is probably where you want to go and do some research. DLA also purchases equipment, supplies, food, clothing, medical, construction, anything our military needs for their mission is purchased through DLA. Okay. Okay, here are the different solicitation types that are utilized in the federal market or in the federal government world. So the government will often put out a pre-solicitation. A pre-solicitation is kind of a heads up to let you know that this opportunity is going to be coming out on the street. Some of the types of pre-solicitations are requests for information or RFI. And RFI is a request for information. The agency has a problem. They don't know what the solution is. So they're putting out this request and they want ideas from the public. Sources sought. Those notices are part of the market research that an agency does in order to make a contract set aside for one of the socioeconomic business categories. Please, if any of those fit your business, I encourage you to respond to them. If companies do not respond to those notices, they will be full and open, meaning even the large, the big businesses can submit a quote, and that is dramatically increasing the competition. Solicitations. Now, these types of documents are generally going to be found on the sam.gov website. An RFP, request for proposal. RFQ, request for quote, request for bid. I think it's important to familiarize yourself with all of these different solicitation document types. Other types of documents that will be posted are award notices. It's public information. When a contract is awarded, it is public information to find out who the awarded company is and what their price is. The proposal itself is proprietary and that is not made public. Okay. So if you want to learn more about all this fun stuff, you can go to the Code of Federal Regulations. It's fun stuff, let me tell you. It is very important, though, that you are familiar with the federal acquisition regulations because they are part of every single government contract. And here are the websites that you can go to and the specific parts that apply to small business. Okay, so required registrations. The absolute requirement for doing business with the federal government is you must be in the System for Award Management, or SAM. If you want to do business on a federal level, you got to be in SAM. Now, the different certifications are good, but you have to think of them as icing on the cake. And the first step is SAM. You can't do anything without it. A DUNS number used to be required. That is no longer part of SAM. It has been replaced by the unique entity identifier. And that UEI is assigned to your business when you register in SAM. So once you complete the registration, you will have a UEI and a cage code. Both of those numbers identify your company. The SAM registration will kind of flow into the SBA Small Business Dynamic Database. It's very important that you complete that because you can add additional information about your company. You can add a short capability statement. You can add past performance contacts, and some other information. So it's important to have a good, complete record. Do not pay. I mean, if you want to, fine, but know that you do not have to pay to get registered or update SAM. It is absolutely free. If you need help with it, if you have any problems, reach out to your local PTAC. We've become experts in SAM, usually successfully. So just remember, you don't have to pay for SAM. So SAM is now the official US government system for contract opportunities, the old FBO, contract data. This is what where you can get all the information about previously awarded contracts, wage determination, entity information, et cetera, et cetera. So probably the ones that you're going to really be concerned with initially is this entity information. Whoop. So the first step is you're going to click on Get Started. You'll create a login.gov account, and then you'll be able to get into the SAM registration and complete the information. You will need your tax ID number, your checking account number, and routing number. They need that so you can get paid. Generally speaking, the government pays via electronic funds transfer. So it can appear overwhelming, but it really isn't. But if you need help, PTAC is here to help you. Okay. So here's just a little bit about the different certifications and the websites that you can go to get information, the requirements, and the applications. Okay, capability statements. This is absolutely one of the most important documents that you can have in your marketing arsenal. This is what you want to have ready to take to the matchmaker, to email potential marketing contacts. It tells a potential customer exactly who you are, what you do, and why you're better than the rest. Some of the information that is included, you identify your core competencies, your past performance, unique facilities or equipment that you might have, your corporate data, and contact information. I cannot stress enough how important a capability statement is when you're marketing to an agency, especially at a matchmaker type of event. A few other things that are really important. On a federal level, there is a relatively new cybersecurity requirement. It's called CMMC, Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. Essentially, this is a set of criteria that your business and your computer system have to meet in order to participate in federal government contracting. This is very new. It hasn't been in place for very long. I think we're all trying to still figure it out. I would like to tell you, especially if you're a defense contractor, if you would like some assistance obtaining the CMMC, then please contact your local PTAC. We have a program in place with the Cleveland SBDC and a consultant company that will provide you with 15 hours of assistance to help get your company CMMC certified. So please reach out to your local PTAC and we can get you that information. Let's see. So how do you find opportunities? Once you have your SAM registration, you have your various socioeconomic certifications, then what do you do? Well, first of all, you become a PTAC client. One of the services that we offer is our daily bid matching, and that's where we can put together a list of keywords that represent what a company has to offer, and then you'll receive an email notification of those opportunities. So other than that, where can you find opportunities? Well, the government is required to post any solicitation over $25,000 in value on the SAM.gov website. Buying activities also have their own website, and there are procurement forecasts available. And I'll get more into that in a minute. FedConnect is a third party that some government agencies utilize. And again, they're GSA and the GWACs. That's a whole different ballgame and a presentation in of itself. But these are the basics of where to find procurement opportunities. So marketing to federal agencies. Create and use your capability statement. That's the most important thing you can do. You can find agency contacts fairly easily by going to the agency's website. Every federal agency has a small business office that is staffed with small business specialists and procurement center representatives, or PCR. The PCR actually an SBA employee, and their role is to ensure that that organization are making contracts set aside for small business, woman-owned, veteran-owned, etc. And you can always get individual buyers' contact information. It's generally on a solicitation. So create your own database of marketing contacts. So know your customer. Do that market research. Know what an agency buys, how they buy it, how frequently or when they buy it. Be familiar with the rules. The rules are the federal acquisition regulations. Perform as promised. You have to deliver on time, provide a quality product or service at a reasonable price. Some don'ts: ask questions. You can reach out and submit questions to either the buyer or the small business office. It's okay to ask questions. Don't submit proposals late. Don't be late for appointments. You know, the government is a potential customer. So treat them such. The way you market and interact with your commercial customers, it's pretty much the same way to interact with a government customer. So I wanted to get into a little bit more further into some of the things that I talked about. We talked about sources sought notices. I mentioned that this is one way a buyer will conduct their market research to identify if a contract can be set aside for a small business or one of the other designations. One of the things that is often requested in the information to respond is a capability statement. So it's another reason to have a capability statement. And remember, if there are no responses from small businesses, it's not going to be set aside. It will be open to any business. So I encourage, if it is anywhere near your wheelhouse, respond. Procurement forecasts. Every agency will put out a procurement forecast of the larger projects that they have coming up over the next fiscal year. And one website that you can go to that, is sort of like a jumping off point is acquisition.gov. Here's the website, and it lists all the various agencies, and then you can click on the link for that agency's procurement forecast. And it will give you a brief description of a project. It will identify the buyer, the contracting officer. If one of the most important reasons of coming to this website before you go to the matchmaker is get an idea of what projects are coming up. Then if you get an appointment with that agency at the matchmaker, and you can talk about a project they have coming up and how you can fulfill your need, you're going to impress that buyer. That's letting them know that you truly have done your research. I also encourage you to click on small business. That will take you to the agency's small business part of their website. It's really important to familiarize yourself with how that particular agency, what their individual requirements are, how they do their buying, and you can get so much information. For example, NASA has their own vendor registration. You want to have that done before you meet with anybody from NASA. The last thing you want is for somebody to tell you, oh, well, you have to go register. You want to already be registered so you can say, oh, I've already done that. Can we discuss next steps? Another, Health and Human Services, they also have their own vendor registration. So it's really important to do your homework. So here's our capability statement template, and you can get a copy of this from any of the local PTAC offices here in Ohio. This gives you a template to work from, to fill in the different categories and make sure you have all of the required information. And reach out. We're happy to share that information. Another website I wanted to share with you is for local contracting. The counties, cities, townships, they all buy stuff too. Not as much as the state of Ohio or the federal government, but they have their own procurement needs. And this is a great website to go to. And then you can click on a county and you can get the various purchasing folks in that particular county. So a little bit about the PTAC services. First and foremost, PTAC is absolutely free. We're funded by the Department of Defense and the Ohio Department of Development. So everything that we provide is absolutely at no cost. We're prepaid with your tax dollars. So we can help with federal, state, and local government procurement. We can help with certifications, with the application, but we don't do the certification piece. SAM, we can help you with SAM registration or the Ohio vendor registration or anything else that comes up. All of the staff, the PTAC staff here in Ohio, we have gone through veteran verification training. So we are all verification counselors. And if you're a veteran, we'd be more than happy to help you through that process. Capability statement. I just can't stress how important this is. We can provide you with our template. We can review your capability statement, make suggestions, etc. Identify opportunities. I already talked about our bid matching. And we also subscribe to a couple of databases, and we can help you with the market research. We have one database, it's called Haystack, and that's primarily for manufacturers. We can identify agencies and pricing and companies that were awarded. And the other database we subscribe to is FedMine. And in there we can get just a gajillion different pieces of procurement information that can help you moving forward. We can help you in preparing a proposal or help you get your bids submitted. We can help you with marketing. We can help you to identify agencies that purchase your products and services. We can help you with that capability statement and all that fun. And then we can also help with other topics, such as if a GSA schedule is appropriate for your company. We put on various training events, such as this one that we do with the SBA, and other webinars and events on various topics. You can go to our website, and we have a calendar available of upcoming events. So here is our map of Ohio, and I covered this, I don't know, limey green area. And right now I'm also covering this blue area. So we have PTACs all across the country, or all across the state and across the country. And you can go to this website and get the contact information for your local office. So in conclusion, government procurement is tough. There's a lot of competition out there. So, but it's doable. The Ohio PTAC clients have been awarded over $1 billion worth of government work on a federal, state, and local level. So it is doable, but you got to be tough. You have to understand the process and procedures. If you don't, then you're really at a disadvantage. Network is always important. Now that the world is opening up, I think networking is going to become a lot easier. Before you jump in with both feet, make sure you're ready. Do that research. Make sure there's a market for what you have to offer. And contact your local PTAC. We are here to help. And if we don't have the right answer, we have a whole nationwide network of folks that we can collaborate with. We work closely with the SBA, the MBAC, the SBDCs, and any other acronym you can think of. So that is what I have prepared for y'all today. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Jane. I really appreciate it. For those of you, if you're brand new to government contracting, this is a lot of information over 2 hours, but just know that there are resources out there to assist you. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, this is a first of a series of webinar trainings in focusing on government contracting. There's actually another webinar tomorrow. We talked a lot about the system for award management, or Jane did during her presentation. And Tim mentioned NAICS codes. Jane mentioned NAICS codes. Tomorrow, we're actually doing a training on system for award management. And we are also doing a webinar on making the most of the matchmaker. So to assist in just further discussing what we went over today, like having a capability statement, how to get ready to meet with government agencies, what type of questions to ask. That's going to be the training tomorrow on making the most of the matchmaker. I just got a question, when are the slides going to be available? It usually takes about a week to get them posted on the Ohio Business Matchmaker website, and then about a week, I think, for the OU PTAC website as well. So today is June 1st. I would say by June 7th, 8th, that they should be posted. Does anyone have any other questions? I don't see any of them going through so far. But Jane, are you going to be at the Matchmaker this year?
I am.
Okay,
I am
cool.
so excited. I'm going to be at the PTAC table. I've never been to the Dayton event before. So I'm very excited.
Oh, that's great. No, I look forward to seeing you there. And Tim, hopefully you'll be able to come too. All right, I don't see any other questions going through. Hopefully, if you have the time tomorrow and you're interested in the sam.gov registration, thank you, Tim, for coming back on. Not that I asked you to do it, but
No, I will be in Dayton though, Jill. I will be in Dayton.
oh, you're gonna be there? Okay,
Yes.
good.
Mhm.
Good. And see, this is going to be so neat for all of us to meet with each other. I know that the businesses especially haven't been able to network, but we're all coming down. We'll be able to see and meet with each other in person. So that'll be great.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to it and thank everybody for attending today. So if anybody need any more assistance, just email me and I'll be glad to handle your questions.
Yep.
Okay.
Same goes.
And your internet just almost went out and there you are, you're back. It's like just in time. You got through the presentation and then it goes